So before I get into this game, can I just say first up, I always thought it was called the Simpsons movie game. Like it was based on the movie they released in the same year. But no, there's none of that here. No dome, no villain voiced by Hank Scorpio. It's just titled The Simpsons Game. Because the other ones don't exist. Well, I mean, they used to. And secondly, the game had such a unique box art, as similar games would reuse the art between console versions, but nah, Homer, just have him pose normally on the 360, fighting enemies on the others. And I guess we owners, you had this to stare at. Also, don't question why I have two of the same game on different consoles. It's something I've done a lot. So yeah, the game released after the movie, and it was called that because they wanted it to restart the Simpsons gaming franchise. Because there were a few games before, and look at it now. We barely get anything apart from a dead mobile game. They even cancelled this game's sequel. Oh look, EA stock price just went up again. So the game starts with Homer dreaming about the land of chocolate, a reference to that season 3 episode, which means Homer has had this dream many times? Better than my dreams where there's a T-Rex chasing me in the city. So now here he has to follow this white chocolate bunny, teaching him the mechanics of the game. You got a double jump, an attack button, which is honestly just so amusing to watch, and a burp? I mean, Barney is more well known for that, or even the critic.
It stinks.
Also, the game looks really good on the PS3. I guess EA weren't kidding about their EA HD compatible gaming. Remember when HD TVs were the new thing back then? And now it's all about that 8K gaming, making characters look as humanly real as possible. Oh yeah, I also realized my PS3 did this a lot when I played games. But then I looked it up and you're meant to put the PS3 vertical, and now look at this monstrosity! I mean, the PS2 version still looks fine, but the DS one, we don't talk about that version, because that was the one I first played as a kid, because games were expensive as heck and emulation was the only way to try out games for free. So yeah, I'll be playing the PS3 version for this video, which was actually developed by EA in-house, EA Redwood Shores, now known as Visceral Games. You know, the people that made Dead Space, then got shut down by EA because of money. Guess they can't all be Microsoft Flight Sim Studios. Anyway, charging up the burp unleashes the power burp. Okay, is this a Michael Bay film now? Honestly, when stuff happens on screen, it can get quite chaotic. Oh yeah, this is Inflation Homer? Clearly not based on DeviantArt. Where pressing R1 inflates him into a ball with his own textures and physics, and you can charge around super fast. So Homer wakes up and is mad that it was all a dream, as no, platforms of giant ice cream cookie sandwiches are not real. And I guess we have also unlocked Bart? So you have to control two characters switching back and forth, which I later realized the game had co-op. Now I think this was exclusive to next-gen consoles, but you do get to run around the house and Springfield, although some places are. I mean, did Bart just sell all his stuff? And Springfield is quiet. Too quiet. There's barely any music and the townspeople walk in weird parts. When you get near them, they say something new, but if you press triangle, they will suddenly quote something from the show, or just don't say anything at all. Oh, come on, Barney, say something. I will say there is a point where aliens attack, the NPCs do change their lines to reference it, which I found extremely cool, or even them just showing NPCs like Charlie from the nuclear plant. Man, I miss him so much.
I'd get laser eye surgery if I had the cojones.
Some buildings are also explorable, but all that's there is one character and collectibles. Oh yeah, each character has their own thing to collect, which gives you some reward. Homer has beer caps, Lisa Malibu Stacy, Marge saving coupons, and Bart something Krusty related. Well, at least it's more interesting to collect than
collect those apple cores.
I never really bothered with it because, you know. Holy crap, is that Futurama? Anyway, with Bart, we now see him buying a brand new game, Grand Theft Scratchy, which is definitely not a reference to another game. Marge, however, finds out that he bought this clearly adult game not meant for kids, and I'm sure no kid played GTA, right? And she confiscates it.
Great, now I have nothing to play except the games I bought yesterday.
Oh god, that's me. And I got 2 of them! But when all of a sudden a Simpsons game guide pops down from the skies, showing Bart that they are just video game characters. Yep, it's gone meta. He finds out he's got superpowers now, and the first thing he does with it...
Superpowers, huh? Well, that's cool, I guess. I was gonna go shoot bats while reading swimsuit magazines in this cave. Wanna come with?
So are the writers even trying? So here in the museum, you find that the bullies are stealing things, and Bart sets out to stop them. His abilities include shooting his slingshot at enemies, and if you hold R1 after jumping, he glides. Don't think he can fly though, he has so much weight, he drops down quicker than you think. So he, with Homer, have to beat up security guards and solve puzzles. This is probably easier in co-op, but you will need to move both of them to areas, like have Homer stand on the T-Rex to lift the tail for Bart to jump over. The AI is pretty good, and you can see when they will auto-run over to you, but I don't know, it was annoying sometimes that you get one character across, then you have to find a way to make the other one go across. I mean, come on Lisa, I can't do all the work. It was also in this level I realized what the verbosity slider was for. Yeah, that's a word, and yeah, that's when the characters say a lot of catchphrases.
Funny story. I killed the guy who's...
Granted, there are so many lines, you will rarely hear them repeat, and I guess some of them are hilarious.
Sometimes I worry that my husband is nothing but a crude stereotype.
Wow. Relatable. Now Bart also gets this pickup where he shoots lasers instead of a slingshot, and same with the other characters, it's like a timed buff. I loved how powerful you were, but I hated how you never knew how long it was gonna last. It just starts flashing, and maybe a countdown or a bar would have helped, because I don't know if you can tell, a lot of things happen at once. So they catch the bullies who say Principal Skinner told them to do it because he needed the school supplies. Oh, so this is just a random event, not related to any of the main plot. Also, you can attack NPCs, but they get up after a while. Can't say the same for Moe.
You did it!
So Homer in another weird level, not connected to anything, where he has to compete in an eating contest, which isn't like any other contest. I don't know, man. I don't think you're meant to beat up the other contestants in a race to the end with a time limit. Next up is Lisa trying to stop a lumber mill cutting down trees, and despite her being a pacifist, I mean sometimes, she can use the hand of Buddha to pick up objects, attack enemies by flicking them, or using elemental powers later on. There is a lot of puzzle solving done with this, like making pathways or flicking enemy into boards that you will need. It was probably the hardest part of the levels for me. I just don't know what she needs. Her special is a saxophone which can stun enemies, and upgraded it can also make the enemies attack each other. I never really used it until the end game when I needed some distractions while solving puzzles. Like, hang on guys, just play with each other while I solve this puzzle real quick. And finally Marge's level where she goes on a violent protest to stop the sale of Grand Theft Scratchy, which is kind of ironic that she uses violence to stop violence.
Oh, ironic.
And oh no, rest in peace, Patty. Her special rounds up NPCs with a megaphone, and then you can command them to repair or attack buildings, or just murder enemies. Her protests lead her to the mayor, who's getting bribed by an EA executive to allow the sale of GTS. Man, EA nowadays would never have approved of this.
Oh my.
Yeah, they definitely would not have approved of this. I can't imagine what pitch the developers did to EA, but I mean in the show they constantly dunked on Fox many times, so I guess EA saw the funny side of it. Anyway, Marge shows off her special super abilities. No, not Ned with the bazooka, although someone had too much fun animating his face. Maggie, yeah, she wasn't just on her back for no reason. At certain places you can send her in for a first-person crawling segment, where you find a button and press it. I mean, if you want to play as a baby, here you go. We then see Kang and Kodos arrive and randomly decide to destroy Earth. There's really no plot, huh? They do this by awakening killer mascots and killer dolphins. Man, this is really just, wow, I remember that episode from the show. Which is great for Simpsons fans because that's all we do now, we just constantly reference the show. And you wonder why we are still unemployed. So to figure out why their game is going nuts with aliens, the kids go to Professor Frank's house, into his portal, finding themselves inside the game engine itself. And if you thought the game was referential, you haven't seen Sonic.
That shadow version of me, nicest guy in the world, misunderstood.
Or Mario.
It's a spaghetti! Here we go!
I hope I get to meet Zelda. Zelda!
Alright, Bart, we get it, you love Zelda. So now in this EA game engine, they fight video game stereotypes, including, oh my goodness, it's Madden! The Madden guys! And I love how they show how similar the yearly releases are. This is in the 2000s and EA is still doing the same thing. So they rescue Frank from Donkey Kong and he gives them a cheat guide to help with the whole alien thing, which doesn't really do anything story-wise, but you now must stop the killer dolphins, and I want to say a few things. Yes, it's the same snorky voice.
We're smarter than them. Kill!
And what the heck, I was stuck on this level for like 20 minutes, so I looked it up, and you're meant to grapple hook onto Kratos' nipple ring.
What?
We then have to stop Lard Lad destroying the place and possibly the worst boss fight ever. Essentially, you have to lure him to a wind area, shoot him in the back with Bart, then glide up and land on the platforms, each time being more difficult than the last. All the while, Kent Brockman is making the most unfunny jokes watching the whole thing.
He's running away. Looks like Lord Lad is human after all.
Bart and Homer then see the aliens torturing Cletus. Oh god. And we have to board their spaceship. This was also when the game started to spawn as many enemies as possible, and it was honestly just better to run away because they'll kill you so quick. Guess if you want scary villains, just overrun the player with as many as possible. So they board the ship, fight some more green blobs, and see Sideshow Bob is now working with the aliens. And they don't want to detail how this happened. Yeah. It was literally just for a cameo cutscene. Well, at least I got Kelsey Grammer for the voice, but at this point I can't really understand the writing of this game. And I have to stress this was written by the actual writers of the show. You know, they actually have written very good episodes. And other episodes. Well, all the Simpsons head back into the game engine where they meet Will Wright? What, you don't know the creator of The Sims? Well, me neither. I guess he's getting his fame by being a video game villain. He wants to kill their old games like the Pixel Simpsons. And this was confusing to me because I've never thought Pixel Simpsons was a thing. I thought the first few games were the arcade ones, like Bart with his lucky blue shirt.
No video game is safe from an industry that's always chasing the hot new thing. Sure, the Simpsons game is great with its unique upgradable character abilities and its hilarious self-referential cutscenes. But what about when the Xbox 720 comes out or the PlayStation 4?
Man, they were really hoping Microsoft wouldn't name the new Xbox something else. Oh wait. So now with some hilarious movie posters, we now have 4 parody levels of games. One being a fantasy game, which is more Lord of the Rings movie parody than fantasy game. I guess it did have an amazing game though. Then it's a Medal of Honor parody where Homer and Bart team up with Grandpa Mr. Burns from the Flying Hellfish in World War II. And this is probably my favorite one because most of the levels were so unique. It's an open world where you must find and take down the white flags from the French citizens. But if you want a lot of surrendering jokes, this is sure the level for you.
I remember my first surrender. It was with an older girl from school. We surrendered over and over until I got it right.
I guess this episode is payback for when Bart was fed poison by his French foster parents in that one episode no one remembers. The next is generic Japanese game reference, which I guess is trying to parody JRPGs. Really trying, but a lot of it is on Pokemon with Mr. Sparkle and the Sparklemon. Each area you fight a comic book guy dressed like that. And man, it was so long and not really that great. Each area you get a Pokemon, I mean Sparklemon fight, where you pretty much pick moves that aren't immune to the enemy and blow up their Sparklemon. The final one is Grand Theft Scratchy, where Marge and Lisa must make the game clean and family friendly by brutally killing the animals. I mean, they started it. This level was so fun when you have a whole army of dogs going wild. You can just sit back and watch the mayhem.
Now anyone can enjoy this game, not just gamers.
Oh heck yeah, Marge, I hate gamers too. So after defeating Poochie, they can unlock the gates to the creator who can help fix this mess. And man, are they rich and powerful, and it's Matt Groening.
It's graining.
Are you sure?
No.
And he draws enemies. What the hell, Futurama? And oh my goodness, it's their actual voices. As a huge Simpsons and Futurama fan, I was fanboying so hard at this. Finally, I could see Homer beat up Bender. Oh wait, they did that on the show years later. So cue a lot of Futurama jokes and quips, and we eventually beat Matt, but he activates the self-destruct and escapes. What a jerk. We escape back to Springfield, and Lisa realizes that the only one more powerful who can fix this alien mess is God. Like the actual God. So she builds a stairway to heaven, and we gotta fight people like Shakespeare, who honestly was the easiest boss in the whole game. We make it up to the top, and I guess God's a gamer?
Just because I'm a gamer doesn't mean I'm not cool.
And what the hell? It's a dance battle where we defeat the Prey Station, Exodus box, and I didn't get that one. And as a kid, this level was the most challenging thing for me, my brother, and cousin. We all would take turns trying our hardest to beat this, since you had to do it all in one life. But I literally beat it in 2 tries now. So we beat God, and he says it was an accident he gave Bart the guide. It was a moment of gamer rage. He also says how the game was made by people in a better game he made called Planet Earth, which got a 96 on Metacritic. So this is a game within a game. Are you confused yet? He agrees to fix everything and Lisa asks if you're in a game too. What would you do? And the camera then zooms out to see it's Ralph Wiggum playing the game and creeped out that we are watching him. Are you confused yet? Okay, so I guess Ralph is the almighty being? Makes sense since he says this when you continue playing after the ending.
Normal is an illusory state. The only constant is change.
What did you say?
When I grow up, I want to be a principal or a caterpillar.
Whew, that's more like it.
And that was the Simpsons game, which was a really fun time at the end because I stopped caring about the story. You can see a lot of effort was put into the world design and the references. It was clearly made by fans of the show, but I guess they didn't want a cohesive story, rather meta for everyone. I mean, the game literally has comic book guy popping up with a cliche collection. They know you are playing a game, which I guess makes this so unique since we're all gamers and characters that Ralph Wiggum controls. No wonder he became president in that one episode. And so I hope you enjoyed a look at this because now I can justify owning 2 copies of the same game. Maybe that will help fund EA closing more studios.